Hello, sports fans. I got a what could be a sad tale of woe. And I'm gonna play a little clip about this young man, JT Lindsey, who's going to be starting his freshman year at LSU as a running back. Highly touted, uh, probably really gifted. Um, but with that, and a lot of us know the story in the black community that these guys come from, like most of men in the black community, come from single parent household. Sometimes the coaches that coach them, has done a great job to keep them out of trouble. And sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So he's under arrest for harboring two guys who are suspected of murder. And they went to his dorm room, and we're going to go ahead and let the newscasters tell you about it. Went to his dorm room, he let them in, gave them their keys. They're not even lying low. I would imagine somebody from the dorm, probably tipped the cops that these guys are staying here. They searched his room, they found the guns, and all of that kind of stuff. As a regular black folk who used to live in Harlem, in the Bronx, you kind of understand how these things happen. And it sucks. It sucked back in 1970s when I was a young guy coming up. And it sucks now because these things are avoidable with just a little bit of oversight. Just with somebody telling these guys, you can't bring these ratchet fucking guys with you to where you're going. Some people you have to leave behind, and that's timeless. Anyway, this is our pain here. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel, uh, Unique Sports Talk. And you listen, we're going to go into this. We're going to give you a glimpse of his mother. She doesn't say much on this clip, but you should be able to put a picture of how that relationship was. And we're going to just show the news clip. And then, I have some commentary, and it's all my own speculation on how this thing went down. And you have to tell me whether you believe his story that he didn't know that these guys were hiding from the law or not. And is it even this? I mean, maybe that's the only defense he has, but you got to tell me if you really think that's plausible and put that in the comments. Even if just listen to, I know your heartstrings are going to get pulled, but put it in the comments if you think that he didn't know what these guys were on a run. I mean, he's down in LSU. These guys show up. He doesn't know that they're on the lam. They don't tell him, hey, man, we just stopping by. We need to stay in your dorm room. Matter of fact, let us hold your key so we can come in and out. It's just kind of crazy just to think about it, right? And so he went in. His mom's there, and I want you to look at some of that dynamic. So let's go ahead and start with the news of him being arrested or going in, and he turned himself in, which is a good thing, right? So let's go ahead and see that clip and see see what we think about it. You tell me what you think about it. It's sad. No matter how you look at it, it's sad, right? All right. So here we go from the top.
We're going to start with the I team. U.S. Marshals confiscated assault rifles and other guns from an LSU dorm as part of a case that ended with the arrest today of an LSU running back.
Police claim he was harboring two accused killers inside that dorm, and now he's facing felony charges. Our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto, broke the story and joins us now with new reporting here at 6. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Liz and Greg. Freshman LSU running back JT Lindsey was arrested today on 2 felony counts of accessory after the fact to second-degree murder. He's accused of letting 2 accused killers from his hometown of Alexandria live in his on-campus apartment. Tonight, Lindsey's lawyer says his client knew nothing about the trouble those suspects were in. You're looking at exclusive video of LSU running back JT Lindsey walking into the LSU Police Department.
His mother's holding his hand like he's a baby. I have to say, she's huge. And she's probably only like in her mid-30s. But guess what? Her last name is Lindsey, too. So I'm going to leave it there, and you guys kind of let that roll around in your head. His name is Lindsey. Her name is Lindsey. What does that really mean in real life? Could mean a few things, but what do you think it means? And you can put it in the comments or we could talk about it, and I'll answer you back.
moments before turning himself in on serious felony accessory charges. Wearing a God-first sweatshirt and flanked by his lawyer, Chris Perrette, Lindsey didn't utter a word. But his lawyer, Chris Perrette, had plenty to say.
Yeah, this time, guys, we're cooperating with LSU PD. My client maintains that he's fully innocent of all charges and no wrongdoing. We hope to get this matter straightened out pretty quick. So that's about all we have to say at this point. We'll have more information for you later.
Lindsey's biography on LSU's website describes him as a 4-star prospect who is ranked among the best at his position nationally. He's now accused of accessory after the fact, when 2 suspects wanted for a murder in Alexandria, Louisiana, were found inside his apartment at the Nicholson Gateway on Monday. That complex is on LSU's campus and is a stone's throw from Tiger Stadium and LSU's football practice facility. Those suspects, Shamel Jacobs and Keldrick Jordan, were picked up by U.S.
These are his buddies, supposedly, right? Thinking of all the places they could have hid out, of all the things they could have done. You know, running away from the cops. The only thing they could think of is putting the guy that they think is that they would say is their friend in jeopardy of jail time to harbor them. Can you imagine the selfishness of these 2 guys? Anywhere you can go, you couldn't find anywhere else but to go on LSU's campus and to destroy the life of one of the guys who was actually, by his stone breath, able to get out. Because if he knows these 2 guys, he probably was a stone's throw from being the 3rd suspect in not this plot, but some other plot. And they said, well, we can't let this guy go. We're going to go and we're going to go in his room with all our guns and all our weapons. And we're going to put this guy's future at risk because nobody gets out of the hood. Nobody. Not if we could help him. That's the only thing that these guys could have been thinking about.
U.S. Marshals inside Lindsey's room there. Both are accused in a murder back in May of 17-year-old Corey Brooks in Alexandria. Sources tell the WAFBI team 4 different weapons, including 2 AR-15s, a Draco pistol, and a Glock were found inside. Lindsey's lawyer says his client knew nothing about his friends being wanted for murder until they were arrested this week.
Can you talk about the charges he is facing?
Not at this time.
Do you believe this was a rush to judgment?
I'll let you figure that one out on your own. But at this point, like I said, we're cooperating fully. Our client is innocent of any wrongdoing, and I think that'll be borne out very shortly.
Certainly, he's quite a standout. Can you talk about what this means to his career and the fact that he's about to be arrested?
Like I said, hopefully this will be resolved very quickly and will have no effect on him. So it's very unfortunate that we're here, but again, we're cooperating and we're going to take care of it as fast as possible. So thanks, guys.
You're saying he knew.
Listen, I give the lawyer credit because he said a whole bunch of lawyer shit that sound real confident, you know. So I don't know what they're paying him, but at least he's confident in the bullshit he's talking about, right? Because there's no way that this guy didn't know what these guys were running from. He knew, if he knew them from before, he knew they were into all kinds of F shit. He knows that, right? Big Mama Bear behind him, you know, she probably cuddled this guy and didn't reprimand him for anything that he did because as her son husband, he's her ticket out. So he was able to do anything he wanted to do, including hanging around guys he shouldn't even be friends with anymore. Hey, yo, man, I love you guys, but I got to do this over here, right? Now, we could talk about the fact that his name and her name is the last name is the same. So there was no man who even wanted to legitimize him as his son. Either she prevented it or she didn't care about it, or it was just some random dude just passing through. It could be anything, any of those things on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But it's him and her, and when you see them walking together, it gives you the cringe because this guy is a grown man getting ready to start his life, and she's holding his hand like he's a baby, you know? And it's, I don't know, maybe I'm tainted, but let's go ahead. Now, they're going to, you catch this at the end. They're going to touch on whether they believe he didn't know what was going on. And you tell me whether you think you believe he's going on. And or this is just a typical guy who's caught up because he didn't have anybody to hold him, embrace his ass, and say, you can't do what the rest of these assholes are doing around you. Right? But I bet you Mama Bear wouldn't let nobody talk to him like that. Right? So here we go.
Nothing about it.
Correct.
Anything you'd like to say, Mr. Lindsey?
Tonight, sources in law enforcement say Lindsey had previously told a friend that he was aware Jacobs and Jordan were both wanted for murder, and that was instrumental in the charges being brought against him. We're told Jacobs and Jordan were using Lindsey's LSU ID to access the LSU dorm.
Michael Bonnet, the spokesman for LSU Athletics, would not say today if Lindsey is still an active member of the football team. LSU police transported him to Parish Prison late this afternoon, where he's been booked on those felony charges. For the WAFBI team, I'm Chris Nakamoto. Greg, Liz.
All right, Chris, thank you. Good evening to you, friends, on this Friday.
Well, so you heard it, right? The reason why they booked him is because he opened his mouth talking about that he knew what these guys were there for. That's what prompted this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing, man? You know, what are you doing? Anyway, you know, there's something I'm saying. You know, we all know one of the biggest issues that we have is single mama issues. That doesn't absolve the fathers for abandoning them in a whole lot of situations, even though there's situations like father alienation. By a lot of women, they alienate the men in their lives, saying they could do this shit all on their own. You can't judge a book by their cover, but I would imagine Mama Bear might fit more on leave me alone, let me raise the son I want to raise by myself. Because the guy's name is not even, the father didn't even legitimize him. So that has some kind of meaning there. She's holding his hand. He's her meal ticket out. A meal ticket, because if he's successful, yeah. But all the other stuff that would keep a man on a straight and narrow is missing out of his life. Because even though good fathers have sons who go wayward, we're talking about percentages here, right? There's just no way. Let's say, for example, the extreme case, Deion Sanders wouldn't have been letting his son hang out with two guys who are into F shit. It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. You know, so the epidemic out there of single motherhood trying to raise boys into men, it fails and fails and it fails all over again. And if there's anything, this is going to be a stretch, not even for this thing, because we're trying to talk sports or actually the absence of sports, because we may never ever see this guy's potential greatness, because he might not get out of this unscathed. It might ruin his whole future, because he knew these guys. It's going to be hard to tell a judge or the jury that you boo-boo the fool about these dudes, man. You know, so it's an uphill battle. And he might, if he didn't commit the act, but that doesn't mean he won't get some serious time, lose a scholarship, lose the opportunity to go in the NFL and change the life of everybody around him. But maybe it's saving people time, because if he can't pick and choose his friends now, he wouldn't probably be able to do it later on. You know, so I would say, listen, as black men, if there's anything that we could look at white men and say, you know what, we're in the same boat, it's child support laws. You know, we might not want to be kumbaya. Most of the blackity blacks are racist against white people. And you say white people are racist against black people. But the one thing that black man and the white man has in common, all of us heterosexual men with children, that the child support laws have destroyed generations of men, because they give the kids to the women. And men should get together and vote and fight for those laws to get changed, because boys need to be with their fathers. Girls too, but if I had to fight for one first, it would be the boys. 10, 20 years from now, all the girls who run into men who were raised by their fathers will actually be more appreciative of those men, to tell you the truth. Anyway, so it's just all I'm saying, all of this to say that there's really a dark side to Black Girl Magic. And one of the darkest parts of it is they really don't know how to raise sons. They keep their sons unprepared for the world. Their sons are the forgotten ones because they don't know how to raise boys into men. And if they're selfish and hateful against the man who gave them that baby, they're going to take it out in their own way on that man by destroying the life of the son, by keeping him babied and pampered and over emotional and stupid and absolutely stupid. So anyway, that's just my thought on that. And of course, this is the part where I say that like I said, I use some music that conveys the message. And the one I'm gonna play for this one for all of you guys is that there's a dark side to Black Girl Magic, and destruction of their sons is one of them.
In the shadows where the light won't shine, feminist stories are told with evil in mind. Black beauty is masked by lace fronts and filters. She wears a crown of thorns while her community withers. Magic lingers in the dark unseen. This is the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her sons, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. Her selfish desires echo her queenly dreams of power. With every step she neglects her need for a king, and in the mirror her reflections cause her mind to wander. Nefarious spirits whisper, forget the face of your father. Gather the pieces, rest, recline the spark. This is the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her sons, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. From the depths you must begin to recognize and reflect that Black Girl Magic without a man is not a lasting prepared for the world. He's a forgotten one.
our opinion, like, share, and subscribe.